Alright, I want to say hello again everybody. It's only me, Wilshire Richard, with a quick video for you guys, okay? I'm outside in nature. Well, I'm outside in close to nature as you can get. We're at this stone table here, marble, stone, whatever, you know, table here, okay? It's a nice sunny day, I must say. A nice day here in the tropics, South China. Got a nice bit of a breeze. I'm sitting under a somewhat shady area in this sunny day, and I thought I'd have a little talk with you guys, okay? Yeah, basically, so I want to just talk about martial arts in general in terms of the combat training. There's different elements of the combat training. That's what I'll talk about in this video. One element when it comes to the combat training, I'll say this, right, is like for fighting, like bare hand skills, like in martial arts, you know, combat, whatever style you do. I think it's down to like the endurance, the stamina, you know, the power going in, you know, the tiger, as in the power, you know, working all your techniques to be able to, you know, all those things, blocking, moving around, yeah, striking, you know, punching, kicking, elbows, knees, whatever, striking, you know, going in like the fighter, grappling to whatever degree. That can be like in a wrestling kind of like way, or it can be like the way I'm talking about, what I like with my like Tai Chi and what I practice, you know, a lot of just some of that pushing hand elements. But I'm saying though, that is like more absorbing the opponent's energy. But what I'm talking about is when you're going in with the power is what I'm talking about. So there's two parts of training I feel in combat, martial arts, okay, is when we're talking about the fighting arts. One way is definitely going in and training for the actual power, as in going in for the fight, to strike when you strike, you know, grapple, take down when you take down, throws, all that, kicking hard when you're kicking, striking, you know, and all that, fighting spirit of it. But then the other part is really just the art, like as in all the traditional arts and all the, you know, as in all the flowing, the actual finding time by yourself to practice some flowing movements. The same way as you might do, let's say, when you practice a kata or a traditional kung fu martial art form, or a karate kata or whatever like that, you know, traditional flowing movements and doing all that. Those movements, or even when you're just free flowing by yourself, doing all kinds of stances and doing the moves, you know, all kinds of that traditional kind of moves. You might not be going all hard and deep into it, but you might be doing that flowing movements. I'm saying flowing the structure with open-handed techniques, palms, whatever it might be, you know, the structural, you know, the traditional moves. I'm saying that kind of training. I'm saying in a free-flowing way. I'm saying though, just moving around. I mean, you could do it with anything. You could do it with kickboxing, you could do it with Muay Thai, karate, taekwondo, whatever. But when you're by yourself and you're just flowing those movements naturally, and you know, when you're just relaxed, it's not like you're thinking about going at it, like striking on a bag, let's say. I'm saying when you're just like flowing, not in a daydream so much, you are thinking about the alignment, you know, the bodily coordination, the line work, the footwork and all the flows, you know, doing all the moves. But it's more like when you just following the line of flow healthily, you know, with your breath, your movement, and you're just feeling, I don't want to say it's like a dance, but do you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say, is that when you're practicing the fighting moves, one part of that is training for the actual power you're going into, actually really fight and strike and all of that. But then the other part is when you're flowing and finding your way, it's like, I don't want to say dancing, but do you know what I mean? It's like you're flowing in water almost. It's like you're standing there by yourself, flowing, thinking about the alignment, every angle, position, front, back, left, right, maybe shadow boxing almost, you know, like gradually feeling all the lines, your steps, and feeling your coordination, you know, and all of that. And again, you know, all of this training you can do with a partner or by yourself, or with training apparatus or a punch bag, or, you know, anything like that. Even trees around you, like training on a tree, working your alignment for the strikes. But for me, as I say, because I'm such a traditionalist, because I train like and stick to the old martial arts ways, that's why a lot of my training is geared towards that. But I do my workouts and I love all the training. I love to get my strike power, I love to train, you know, the fighting moves and that. But what I'm saying is I practice a lot of like that kind of line work as well, like moving, like pattern work. I wouldn't say like following exact traditional cutters as such only, and following a set pattern that you've been following for years that someone's taught you, or a cutter. But I'm saying flowing your body in different ways to feel the different lines, you know. I feel that part is very, very important. And people that do, you know, boxing, do shadow boxing, you know what I mean? People that do But anyone who does like these more modern arts, let's say, all right, fair enough, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, sport type fighting, you know, but especially like MMA, that kind of stuff, people that do that kind of stuff won't understand necessarily totally what I'm saying if they're not familiar with traditional arts enough, as in been through it. You have to go through the rigorous drills, you have to go through like learning forms and cutters and things like that to understand anything about what I'm saying, because otherwise it just sounds like you're in a daydream doing a dance. I'm not saying that, but when you start to understand different bodily movement and alignment and different patterns, it's like anything. If you've learned to be a dancer or a gymnast or anything like that, you will understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, it's not just that I say you float your hands around, live in a daydream and think you can do these fancy moves, kung fu, and I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you just do movements for the sake of it or just because you want to feel good and it's an art. No, it's an actual art to how you're going to use all this in your real combat. But if you don't train the hard hitting, striking, real combat stuff, just like MMA guys do, if you don't do that hard going in as well, then you're not going to be able to generate the power when you need to. So this is where they meet together again, as I always say. You know, the power of fighting a part of the martial arts, and the art part of the martial arts, as in a skill through a structured way, with the hard and the soft. Okay, but a lot of people don't understand it because they're not training in this day and age, and this knowledge is not spread. It's just not known by enough people. Thanks for watching. Train hard and stay safe.